Mr. Telvin Osborne, a grand jury has just dropped all the charges against his YT woman that unalived him after he allegedly threatened to cut her with a cutter. She pew-pewed him with that toolie, and a grand jury has dropped all the charges. So, in my opinion, it's my honest opinion, I don't care, because Mr. Telvin Osborne had said a whole bunch of disgusting things about black women. He also had tweets saying if it ain't snowing, he ain't going, and blah, 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 things like that. And he even said that he would unalive for his girlfriend, which was a YT woman. And he did indeed get unalived by his girlfriend, which was a YT woman. And that's what, hey, man. I don't care.
I seen this post on Facebook this morning, thankful for this little blonde blessing of mine. And I thought to myself, that's a strange thing to say. Immediately after that post, I seen this post. 28-year-old Hannah Grace Cobb pew-pewed and unalived her baby father, Telvin Rackens. He shared a photo of them back in 2021. He said, "I'll unalive for her. I'll unalive about her. And I ain't scared to say I'll die about her." How ironic. Same guy. This was posted on Twitter. You can read it for yourself. And this is another post that he shared. You can read it for yourself. So at this point, we see what type of black man we're dealing with here. This right here is his brother. And you can see what he posted down here. Read it for yourself. But when I saw some bitch, that told me everything I needed to know. People were comparing Telbo to Toby because they both pretty much had similar situations. They both posted similar tweets, and they both had the same ending result. According to the sources on Facebook, they said she came home drunk from the club and she was cleaning her pew-pew, and it went off and unalived her boyfriend/baby daddy. Initially, there was no arrest because they ruled it accidental, but since then, they've arrested her and charged her with involuntary manslaughter.
No charges for the woman that shot Telvin Osborne.
A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us from. Today we're going to dive into a case that caused emotional shockwaves across the internet and within the black community. The death of Telvin Osborne, a black man fatally shot by his white partner, Hannah Grace Cobb. A case that on the surface looks like another tragic domestic dispute, but when you peel back the layers, you met with a conversation about race, loyalty, justice, and consequences. Consequences, not just from actions, but from words. Now, despite this being a fatal shooting, and Cobb originally claiming it was an accident, no charges were filed. The grand jury ruled it was a self-defense. But here's where things even get messier. Telvin had a history of publicly degrading black women. That's history. It dramatically changed how many in the black community reacted to his death. There were no viral hashtags, no nationwide rally, just silence. Some even saying he got what he asked for. So, in our today's video, I'll be talking about the shooting, the investigation, the grand jury's ruling, and the uncomfortable conversation about how Telvin's own words may have played a role in the indifference that followed his death. Buckle up, this is not just about your average case of crime and consequence. This is a personal, political, and painful truth. I'll be back with my further analysis.
A grand jury has declined to press charges against Hannah Grace Cobb, and the district attorney says that the case is now closed. And if you hadn't heard, Hannah Cobb, age 25, was accused of unaliving Telvin Osborne, age 30, in their master bedroom. After an argument had erupted, pushing and shoving, she fires a fatal shot, taking the life of her children's father. She stated that they had been out all night and allegedly there was drinking involved. She says she was checking her firearm coincidentally, as they do every night. And while she was manipulating the weapon, she thought it was on safety and she fired it into his chest. But they're not even willing to pursue this case. So she was checking to see if the trigger worked. Y'all stay safe out there. I'm not saying that you should have a Nest videotape in your home, but the eye in the sky does not lie.
A grand jury has decided to drop all the charges against Hannah Cobb. They are claiming she acted in self-defense after fatally pow-powing her boyfriend after a night at the club. Those of you guys who are unaware, Hannah Cobb and her boyfriend Telvin Osborne had come home from the club one night. She claimed she was cleaning her GUN and fatally pow-powed him by mistake, but after police conducted an investigation, they discovered that was the furthest thing from the truth. After getting multiple witness statements, obtaining ring cam footage, they determined that Hannah and Telvin actually got into it that night, and he charged at her with a KNIFE before she fatally pow-powed him.
Osborne showed back up to the house.
Hannah Cobb stated that Mr. Osborne pulled a knife on her and threatened her.
According to news outlets, this all happened between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. after they left the club. Hannah was upset because she accused Telvin of trying to talk to a woman.
Cobb became upset that night because she believed he was talking to another woman.
From there, she proceeded to lock them out of their trailer. Now, Telvin was upset and trying to find a way in. He eventually found a spare key, got access to the home, reportedly began to threaten Hannah. He was locked out and trying to gain entry back into the home. Attorneys are claiming he texts her things like, "You better hide," and hide.
Text messages from Mr. Osborne to Hannah Cobb began around 4:48 in the morning with messages including "hide" and "you better hide."
After he gained entry to the home, Hannah is claiming she called his mom to try to get him to calm down because she saw him with a 8-inch KNIFE. However, that did not de-escalate the situation. They are claiming that Telvin put his hands around Hannah's neck, slammed her against a wall, and eventually she fled into a bathroom and locked herself in the bathroom.
Hannah Cobb says that Telvin returned to the home with a knife, that he broke in, he threatened her, and he choked her, and she managed to break free from him and went into a bathroom.
Now, while in the bathroom, she allegedly claimed that she was going to harm herself before Telvin broke in, and it's at that point that she turned the GUN to him and powed him in the chest one time, resulting in him passing.
Indicated that she was going to harm herself, but when he broke into the bathroom, she turned and fired the gun one time at Mr. Osborne.
Now, this happened back in February of 2025, and people definitely found her initial story of cleaning her GUN after a night out on the town very strange. She is claiming that they did that as a family practice to them experiencing a break-in in the past. While that may be something that they did regularly, it's not what they did that night. After a jury reviewed all the footage, dropped the charges against Hannah, claiming that she was acting in self-defense and she was good to go home. She just cannot own firearms anymore. Guys, I'm curious to know what y'all think regarding this entire situation. Are y'all surprised that Hannah got off? Let me know down in the comments, you guys.
This motherfucker said he would rather fuck a dog than to fuck a black woman, bro. He was already fucking a dog. Like, yo, like the bitch you was with was the baddest bitch alive. That bitch, that bald chinny and crimson chin looking ass bitch, bro. This the shit I be talking about, bro. Like, the ancestors got his ass, bro. I'm sorry. You act like you had the baddest bitch. You act like you was with a bad white girl. That bitch look like a damn extraterrestrial when you over here talking shit about black women. What the fuck is it be, bro? Oh, Lord Jesus. I'm trying, bro. The ancestors got him.
Did you hear about the man in Georgia who was shot and killed by his girlfriend, yet she wasn't arrested because she said it was just an accident? At 5:45 on Sunday morning, the police were called to the home of Telvin Osborne, also known as Telbo Rackins, in Midville, Georgia. When police arrived, they found Telbo deceased from a single gunshot wound to the chest, and his girlfriend, Hannah Grace Cobb, admitted to shooting him. 28-year-old Hannah Grace Cobb is the mother of Telbo's 2 children, and police say she's fully cooperating with the investigation. Yet, Telbo's family says, why is there investigation? She should be in jail.
So, let's break down what happened that night. Telvin and Hannah came back from the club. She accused him of flirting with another woman. She locked him out. He got back in. Then, allegedly, he started threatening her. She claims he had a knife. He choked her, slammed her. She ran into the bathroom, tried to hide. He busted the door down, and that's when she says she shot him in self-defense. Well, her story changed. First, she said it was an accident while cleaning the gun. Later, it became a self-defense. That's not just a small detail. That's a fundamental shift in the story. And despite the inconsistencies, the jury declined to press charges. That raises a question many are afraid to ask. Would this case have ended differently if the racial holes were reversed? If it had been Telvin who shot Hannah? But even beyond the legal system, that really grabbed attention was the community response, or lack of it. Telvin had a digital trail of disrespect towards black women. Tweets that say things like, "If ain't snowy, ain't going," and even more vile things like, "I'd rather sleep with a dog than a black woman." He had posted that he would die for his white girlfriend, and that's exactly what happened. Those words haunted his legacy, and many felt no sympathy when they found out. This wasn't just a death, it was a reckoning. A moment where a man's public betrayal of his own community came back to define how they responded to his death. Whether right or wrong, that's the reality we are dealing with. Well, I know it's going to get emotional and challenging, but let us talk about the real bigger picture, because this is not about Telvin and Hannah. This is about the relationship between words, accountability, and identity. When a black man publicly humiliates black women, disowns his own roots, and glorifies whiteness to the point of worship, what message does that send? And when tragedy strikes, should the community still rally behind him, or is this silence form of a karmic justice? These uncomfortable questions, but silence speak volume. In the case of Rodney or Carmelo Anthony, the black community showed up, loud, passionate, demanding justice. But with Telvin, there was a quiet murmur, a collective shrug. Some even said the ancestors got him. Others felt he manifested this with his own tongue. He owned his own tweets, his own declarations, the ride or die, loyalty to a palm-colored partner who will eventually be the one who pulled the trigger. We have to ask, what does solidarity mean when someone has made it clear they no longer value their own people? Can we still show up for them in death when they rejected us in life? And what about his children? They're left behind, too little, caught in the middle of this racial, emotional, and moral storm. Their father is gone, their mother is free, and one day they'll read those tweets, they'll see the court reports, they'll have to wrestle with all of this every time. So this case exposes the emotional tension inside our community, especially around interracial relationships. It's not about love who you love. It's about the price of disconnection, the danger of public self-hate, because what you say, what you post, it can all come back to you. Maybe not today, but eventually it will catch up with you. Let Telvin Osborne's story serve as a hard, painful, yet necessary mirror for the community. Because for men who think degrading their own makes them desirable, for women who accept being pedestalized only in contrast to other women's humiliations, for a justice system that really gives black people the benefit of the doubt, but handed this palm-colored woman freedom, even after a story change, and for anyone who believes words don't carry weight. Because in this case, words didn't matter. They helped seal his fate. Yes, that's it. You've had me right. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.